If you're a slingshot fan, somebody who wants to know more about slingshots, and a prepper, I think you'll enjoy this video. Stick around. I sure hope you're doing well, my friend. It's just a few days before Christmas. We've got some terrible weather today. We're getting a lot of wind and rain, I think a little snow and sleet mixed in there. It's just a good day to cozy up indoors and stay out of all of that mess. I've been thinking for a while that I've been wanting to do a video around slingshots and prepping. It's just a good skill set to acquire. Slingshots accompany the prepping world very well because you can stock up on a lot of things with ease. And it's pretty low maintenance for the most part once you understand a few key things. You know, there's no replacement for your firearms and your firearm supplies. I don't want to imply that at all with this video. Slingshots are just a supplement to your hunting supplies or defense supplies or survival supplies. It's just a supplement. One thing I can say about a slingshot is the slingshot frame is not going to wear out. The slingshot frame is not hard to clean. The main thing about a slingshot is making sure you've got some rubber, making sure you've got some bands to shoot. Well, these things can be easily collected. You can collect pouches over time with ease. You could have plenty of pouches. You know, even slingshot bands can be collected and stored. Now, the kind of material these bands are made out of, it does deteriorate, especially if exposed to air and heat and too much light and things like that. But if you keep them stored and sealed properly, it can last a long time. So you can store up latex, you can store up bands, you can store up a lot of ammunition at a pretty inexpensive price. And the great thing about slingshot ammunition is, let's just say you ran out of every steel and lead round that you had. You've got slingshot ammo laying all over the ground, especially down at the creek beds. You can shoot rocks with a slingshot. You can take rabbits and squirrels and small game with a slingshot and with rocks. And if it got bad enough and you did not have a firearm, a strong enough slingshot setup can drop a man. I know that that's not the primary thing we think about with slingshots, but it's just true. It can do those things. Now, first I want to talk about slingshot frames. A slingshot is not hard to get your hands on. You can go out in the woods and get a slingshot frame, or you can buy one that's nice and fancy. They range anywhere from $7 to $150, depending upon what kind of slingshot frame you're buying and who you're buying it from. But I want to show you a few of my frames and what I like to use them for. This is for those who have no experience in slingshots, just to kind of give you some idea. My favorite slingshot of all, obviously, is the good old original Scout XT here. If you Google hunting slingshot, you're probably going to get this in your web search first and foremost before anything else. I think this is the best slingshot there ever was. The only complaint a lot of people have is they don't like the fact that it's not really pocketable. This is more of a gear slingshot. Put this in a bug out bag, attach it to your gear, but nevertheless, it gets the job done. It's got a good wide fork for those who are first getting into slingshots. That's important, and it's just rock solid. You can set up a strong band set on this and get out and do some hunting. You got other kinds of slingshots out there. I love the Torque slingshot from Simpleshot. I like the fact that I can put these big powerful loop tubes on here, and I can put big wide flat bands. But I'm gonna tell you, this is a very strong and powerful setup. If I was gonna launch lead or something heavy, I would pull this out. Simpleshot's got some other frames like the Fowler Sparrow here. This is just a good, simple, comfortable frame. You can put a light or a heavy setup on it. You've got your little, what I like to call EDC slingshots. This is my Sniper Sling Spike, one of my favorites. You've got the Wasp XO here, extremely light, I think, for good light shooting clay rounds. You've got their Airship here. You listen to that? I've got some ammo. This Airship holds some ammo, which actually gives it some extra weight, allowing it to be light or heavy setup. I love these traditional Chinese frames like the Stawoo here. I call this the Red Dragon. You can put light or heavy loop tubes on this. You can put flat bands on it. I just don't. But this is a good setup if you want to learn to shoot tubes, because you can really get a heavy setup with some tubes. I've also got these Selgen series frames. Also, again, another very easy frame to put flat bands on here. I got this recently from Stawoo, I do believe. I've got some Simpleshot black on this. It can be light or heavy setup. It just depends on your preference, but I want to spend a little time on natural forks. You don't have to buy any of these frames. You can go out and get a natural fork slingshot and become just absolutely nasty and very accurate with one of these. This natural fork setup that I have right here, I've just kind of did my little design on it. This is my favorite one that I've ever made. I've got it carved and left some of the bark on here, double coat of lacquer, however you say it. And I've got a band set up here that could take a squirrel. This is what I call my rock chucker. This is a natural fork slingshot with some 1 millimeter thick latex and a giant pouch for launching rocks. These are just a few examples of what you can find out in the slingshot world. The next thing I want to talk about is bands and band attachment. Some slingshots come with the ability for you to mechanically install your bands on that slingshot. You do not have to tie them on. Most people tie their slingshot bands on using the wrap and tuck method. I do both. There have been frames that I've loved on both ends of the spectrum. I prefer to mechanically attach my bands. I just like it better. But you can choose. If you don't want to have to tie on bands, there's so many slingshots out there that are inexpensive that can do band attachment mechanically. Bands, in my opinion, is the hardest thing to learn in the area of slingshots because there are so many variables. Okay, you can buy light bands and you can buy heavy bands, but that doesn't mean you can't do damage with a lighter setup. There's just, again, a lot of variables. What I like to do is choose band sets that are pretty much right down the middle and all purpose. When it comes to bands and prepping though, it's good to get bands that you can hunt with, that you can keep on stock to hunt with, because there are light band sets that are not good for hunting. You know, there are bands that are just so light, they're not gonna take small game no matter how you shoot. Now, I prefer, in the world of slingshot latex bands, Simpleshot black. That's my favorite to shoot. Now, I will admit, I've never shot the sniper sling yellow. I know a lot of you guys out there are really good with that. I've never shot it. I just like the Simpleshot black. But it's a little bit more expensive. Now, what I have done from my prepping stock supply is I went out to Amazon and I got 50 bands. This is 50 slingshot bands. And I'll tell you something about these bands. I bought these off of Amazon. I'll try to drop links on all of this. These have a great thickness to them. I want to say these might be 1 millimeter thick. And, you know, depending upon how long they are, you know, if I leave them a little bit longer, they're lighter and easier to pull back. But if I really want to get the max power out of these, I can trim these up to my draw length. That's a whole nother video. Nevertheless, I've got 50 bands here that I have got sealed up in a Ziploc bag. You know, and we'll probably just check on them every now and then and see how they're holding up. But I like to keep a lot of bands in stock. You know, you just never know what's gonna happen. You never know. It's like ammo. It's like people who stock ammo up. You stock bands because you need bands to shoot slingshot ammo. Now, going back to Simpleshot latex and talking about it being more expensive to stock up on slingshot bands from Simpleshot, I am referring to if you buy the bands already made. If you learn how to tie on your own bands with like a band tying jig or with clamps, that's another video too. But if you learn the skill set of tying on your own bands, you can, as I said before, collect pouches and your favorite latex from Simpleshot. It's a lot cheaper to buy latex from Simpleshot and make your own bands in the long run. I've got some 0.7 millimeter here, which is just really good. It's a really good level. 0.7 millimeter latex in stock that I've got sealed up, and I've got some 1 millimeter thick Simpleshot latex. Now, as far as making rubber bands that you can wrap and tuck, sometimes you can use rubber bands, or you can just take some of the latex and cut you some tie-ons just from some of the extra that you got laying around. Another thing that I've got in my stockpile is a bunch of high-powered loop tubes. Got these in bags. I bought these off Amazon. I just keep a stockpile of these as well. Now, let's talk about slingshot ammo. If you ask my opinion, okay, If there was going to be one size ammo that you were going to stock up on more than any other kind, I have to say 3/8 steel. Now, lead is heavier, it's stronger, hits hard, but it's not as easy to get your hands on. If you want to go out and stock up, you can stock up on 3/8 steel ammo. I've got 1,000 rounds right here. I got 1,000 rounds of 3/8 steel. Now, I also have a little bit of a smaller caliber in stock as well, 5/16. Sometimes, just depending on the situation, this is a little more needful. But if you're going to stock up on one or the other, I'd say go with 3/8. But maybe just keep one extra size down, depending upon what band set you're shooting with. You just never know. You might want to go with something different, a little bit more of a different dynamic if you want to diversify your ammo collection a little bit. But there's all kinds of different things you can have on stock. You can have marbles in stock. You can have 1/2-inch steel. This stuff is huge. You know, you're talking about using a slingshot for self-defense at close range, high-power tubes. Nobody wants to get cracked in the cranium with 1/2-inch steel. I've also got some 11 and some 12 millimeter lead. You want to talk about something packing a punch. I cracked a coconut with high-power tubes and 12 millimeter lead. You want to talk about an absolute juggernaut. I've got some 18 millimeter lead. If you launch this at a high speed, good night, Irene. Now, I also love to do a lot of recreational shooting just for fun. I keep me lots of clay ammo around. I can shoot that stuff anywhere. And remember as well, with slingshots, you can also get the right bands that shoot darts. You can shoot darts with a slingshot. You can fish with slingshot darts. So you can do a lot with these things. This video wouldn't be any good if I did not conclude by talking about the importance of not only stocking up on supplies, but stocking up on skill set. You know, I don't think you have to learn to be the best in the world, but, you know, it'd be good if you could take a piece of small game from 20 to 30 feet away. I think that would be a good skill set to shoot for. That's kind of where I like to live. There's people out there, out here in YouTube that shoot that can do like extraordinary things beyond my capabilities. I'm just kind of a middle of the road kind of guy in my skill set, a big enthusiast for it all. So I hope you found this video insightful. I really believe with all of my heart that if you're a prepper and you're prepping for supplies, prepping for survival, I just think it's not a bad idea to maybe prep in the area of slingshots. Learn as much as you can about these because it's a good thing to add to your arsenal. Thanks for watching and take care.